our next step, we're gonna move on into the eyes area, and we're gonna address the eyebrows. We're gonna clean up the eyebrows. We're gonna edit the eyes, and we're gonna edit also the lashes. And I think we're gonna brighten up the area around the eyes, making the eyes pop a little bit, but also in the same time not over edit the eyes. So here I just created another copy merge layer. This is a layer containing all the other layers that's underneath it, and I'm gonna call it eyes edit. So let's start with the eyebrows. The tools that I'm using to clean up the eyebrows, even if the model has a beautiful face and beautiful eyebrows, I still feel like I want to clean up a few hairs that the makeup artist didn't touch it. And for the eyebrows, I'm using two tools, the clone stamp tool and again the healing brush tool. For the small hairs, I'm using the healing brush, but if I want to go into the brow area and clean up this top part of the eyebrow, I think I'm going to use the clone stamp because I don't want to mess up with the colors here. So let's start. I'm using Alt to create the stamp, and look how I'm following the eyebrow line. I don't want to change the shape of the eyebrow. I just want to enhance it. So I'm just going to remove these fine hairs. Nothing major, just clean the eyebrow a little bit so we can see the makeup better. I think I'm still gonna remove these two hairs. Okay. And I wanna remove this top area, but nope. Stamp the tool around the area that you need to modify. But as you can see, when I'm approaching with the healing brush, I have here a decoloration into the eyebrow. So now I'm gonna move to my clone stamp, decrease the opacity, make the clone stamp a little bigger. And this is how I do it. It's a quite fast process. But like I said, this is not my actual speed. I'm just slowed down for you to show you exactly what I do. After you get confidence in your edit, you will see that you will go through pictures a lot faster, and you will get better timing results in your edit. I think I'm satisfied with this look. I still want a little bit of a texture above my eyebrow because I think I've lost, using the clone stamp, I've lost some details here, and I want to put back these details using my spot healing brush. And I think it's good. Now let's look at the before and after. Look at this. This is better. Now let's see if we need to do something on this area. Maybe a little bit, using J for the spot healing brush. Now, this looks better, does it? All right, now, what I think I want to do is I want to clean up this makeup line around the eye. I want to leave the wrinkles around the eye. Don't tend to remove everything around the eyes, the wrinkles, the texture and everything, because this is what makes a picture look natural. You will not find any person in the world without wrinkles. So don't tend to make the pictures looking unnatural because you want to remove everything or because it's easy to remove everything. I think this is the key on editing and having beautiful results. Just leaving and knowing what to edit and what to not, and what to leave in place. So again, using J, I just want to, okay, I'm not happy with the results here. I'm just gonna use the clone stamp tool, but I'm gonna lower my opacity here. Oh, okay, this is better. This is better. All right. Now we're gonna address the eyes. So what I normally do is also using my healing brush tool or the spot healing brush tool. You can try both, see whatever works for you. I want to remove this red lines around the eyes and make the eye look a little bit cleaner. I'm gonna show you also on a different picture. Put the stamp here and slowly remove the red veins around the eyes. I think it's, oh, we also have this one here, but for this one, because it's so close to the skin, I'm just gonna use the stamp tool. It's better to have a lower opacity on the stamp tool and control it and go on the problematic area multiple times rather than go 100% and then go back and then having you frustrating over this. So also this corner, this top part of the corner, I think this looks nice. Look at this. I'm gonna open a second picture from the same shooting. Because this second picture was from my last ones, it was at the end of the shooting. You will see that the models, especially at the end of the shooting, get a little bit tired. If you use a lot of flashlights, the eyes get a little bit tired. So if you don't have Visine drops on your set, usually you can tell the model is tired looking at their eyes. So what I'm having here is a second picture. I'm gonna increase the exposure on this picture a little bit, and you can see in the model's eyes more red veins and more redness. So I'm gonna show you also on this picture how to edit this. I'm not gonna do anything on this picture. I'm just gonna edit the eyes for an example purpose. Let's duplicate this. If you don't want to hit Ctrl J, you can drag the layer, the background layer, on this icon here, on a plus icon. And now we have a background copy. So again, we're gonna go to our healing brush tool, hold Alt on a clean area, and then slowly edit the red parts of the eye. Now you can use the same tool if you see something strange in the pupil or around the iris. And this way, in a few minutes, you have a clean looking eye. So now look at this before and after, much better. This is looking much better, but also looking natural. So let's go back on our image. This left eye is looking better. Just wanna remove this white spot here, and it's looking okay. Now, what I want is, I think I'm gonna make a selection around the eye, and I want to brighten things up a little bit. So usually the way I do selection is using the pen tool, and I'm just going to make a rough selection. Right click, make a selection, feather radius 1, and now just hit Ctrl J, and you will have a selection of the eye right here. What I want to do is to create a curves adjustment layer. I want click here to clip the mask. If you don't find this button here in your Photoshop, just click right and click on create a clipping mask. And what edits we're gonna do on this layer is gonna affect only this layer. So what I want to do is to increase my middle curve a little bit. Let's zoom out to see what exactly we are doing. I think this is more than enough. But I don't want this part of the skin to show up, so I'm gonna go with my dark brush, and I'm gonna remove this. So now we brighten up the white part of the eye. Now I want to enhance this color because she has beautiful brown eyes, and I want to enhance this area. And I think what I'm gonna do is to create another curve layer, create another clipping mask. I want to increase my curves until I can see the colors of the eyes. Then I'm gonna invert the mask. So the whole curve adjustment layer is gonna be hidden away. Then I'm gonna go into my brush and paint onto the mask with the white color. Make the size a little bit smaller. My opacity is at 45%. And I'm just painting into this area. Okay, no, I don't want to go on a black pupil here. So go back and increase the contrast. So now look at this. If I zoom out, I think it's a little bit too much, so I will decrease my opacity around 80%. This is a way of doing things. If you want to edit faster, what you can do is just create an adjustment layer that's going to affect the whole image. Looking at the eye, increase the brightness using the middle adjustment curve, then invert the mask, and now with your brush tool just paint into the area of your interest. And because the left eye is in our shadow, it's where the shadow is, I think I'm gonna also decrease my opacity from my brush layer, and I'm gonna paint into the pupil and bringing these colors up a little bit. Now, as you can see, in only one adjustment layer, we had a beautiful, great result. But if you want more control over the eyes, I just showed you 2 ways of doing just that. What I normally like to do is leave them just like that and create a group, eye brightness. And I'm gonna use a color because we're using the eye and the eye edit. Now, on top of our eyes edit layer, I'm gonna make another selection, and I want to make the lashes pop a little bit more, or maybe create some more lashes. Some models have more lashes, some they don't, but for sure if we increase the contrast area and we create more lashes, the eyes will pop a little bit more. So what I normally do is just create a new layer, and we're gonna rename it lashes. We're gonna go into our brush tool, click D to reset our color stamps here. So what I want my opacity to be at 100%, flow at 100%, the hardness around 10%, zoom into the picture, go onto the brush again, match your brush size to the size of a lash, around 1 pixel, but I think 2 pixels is good. And on top of a new layer, we're just gonna paint with our brush, but I think it's too thick. Let's go with 1 pixel, and let's create some new lashes here, just like this. If you have a tablet, this is gonna be much easier for you, but I don't want to use in this tutorial a pen tablet just because I want to show you that even with a normal mouse, this is possible and you can create beautiful images. Just like this. Keep in mind that usually in the middle of the eyes, the lashes are a bit longer and a bit thicker. Now, let's increase the size at 2. And I'm gonna go at the base of my lashes and just go halfway. Just like this. Now, we mask this one out. Just go halfway. Now, what we want is to match the new eyelashes that we just created and blend them into our image. Now it looks a little bit obvious and a little bit fake, and we just don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my gradient tool here. I'm just gonna double click on it and I'm gonna choose a darker color here. Just gonna go with a very, very dark brown. Let's see. All right, I think this is good. Okay. And onto this area, I'm just gonna go keep in mind that your opacity on this gradient needs to be 100%. Just click on this bottom color and just go with the lighter. So I'm creating a gradient from the dark, from a very, very dark brown to a lighter one. I'm hitting OK. Now holding Control and click on your layer is gonna create a selection of all your lashes. Now with your gradient, just paint all over. Now go on any selection tool and click deselect. And now look at this, we changed the color of our eyelashes. Now it looks a little bit more natural, does it? Now what I normally do is to play a little bit with my blending modes just to see if something fits and something looks nice or not. Well, soft light gives me a little bit of opacity, hard light. I think I'm gonna put my eyelashes on the hard light and decrease my opacity around 75%. And now look at this. Let's zoom out. Now look at this. It looks completely natural. It looks exactly like the lashes were there. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the upper part of the eye. So exactly the same thing. Go on the brush. Now depending on your image, if you created a close-up image with just the part of the face, you might not use the 1 pixel size of the brush. So each time you need to adjust to your image. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Notice how I'm changing direction, making them more natural. It's not always the same recipe on creating and editing beautiful images. You just need to know your tools and adjust accordingly. It's always trial and error. This is also a great tool if you miss your aperture or you just miss the focus a little bit. You can always fix the eyes with this tool in post-processing. I think this one is a little bit longer and unusual, so I'm going on my eraser tool here, holding E, hitting E, decreasing the size, and just gonna resize my eyelashes a little bit because this is not very natural. But now it looks okay. Again, going on to my gradient tool. As you can see, these colors remain here. Holding Control, going from the middle of the eye to outside. Now we can deselect, go on to the hard light, and also decrease the opacity. Lashes, so you can see the before and after. Now we're gonna do exactly the same thing on our left eye. Just create a new layer, holding the brush, selecting our brush, and with 1 pixel, keep in mind that the eyelashes go in multiple ways, not in one way. And these are bottom right. Oops. Take your time. And by the way, all our edits that we have done so far, now I'm erasing the part of the lashes that it will be unnatural here. Again, I'm selecting the gradient tool, deselect, going on a hard light, and decreasing our opacity. Keep in mind that all our edits that we have done, we've been able to done it with basic, simple Photoshop tools. We didn't install any kind of crazy plugin. We didn't do any crazy swapping, changing. These are just normal, basic Photoshop tools. A new layer, and we're gonna call it upper right. Keep in mind that this is the right model's eyes, not my right or your right. It's the model's eyes, right eye. And again, go with 1 pixel for the brush. And here we go. Now I'm going with the 2 pixel. And going over the created lashes for a more natural look. If you have this is with the mouse version, but if you have a pen tablet, and many of the editors and maybe most of you have one around the house, it's gonna be much easier because you have a pen pressure over there and you can create beautiful lashes in one stroke, and this is gonna be a time saving when you have large workflows to do. Again, erasing the eyelashes when I didn't want it. Control click or command click if you're on a Macintosh. Going on my gradient tool from the middle of the eye. Again, hit W, deselect. Going on the hard light and then decrease the opacity. Now look at this. Hold Z or go into zoom, zoom out. And now look at this. Look at this. Now I want to show you one more trick that I do in order to make the eyes pop and look a little bit more brighter. For this thing, let's put also an orange color on the lashes. What I want to do now is I want to create a copy merge only on the eyes. So I'm selecting the eye area, Control Shift C or just Control V. And notice that in our catch light, we can see the lashes, the natural lashes, not the ones that we just created. And I want to do something. I'm just going with my brush tool. I'm just holding the Alt to pick the color and then paint onto this area. Or maybe take also this color. Zoom out. And now look at this. I'm also gonna do this on the same. Hold Alt, pick the color. And clean up this beautiful catch light into our model's eyes. Also use a highlight color and put it here. On this one, maybe it's a little bit too much. And you can decrease the opacity here. To create a shape like this. Because I think it's too strong, we can also decrease the opacity a little bit. Whatever you think you're editing too much or it has a big impact on your image, just decrease the opacity. Always play the opacity. It's a key thing in editing your pictures. Now look at this before and after, before and after. Isn't it beautiful? Look what we realize in this lesson. So the catch light, the eyelashes, the eye brightness, and the eyes edit. Let me create another copy merge. You can go here, also edit, copy merge, create a new layer and paste it. Rename it copy, merge. And now we're gonna also hit Control S to save our edits. Every time you did something, just create another copy merge layer. So this way, if you're building on top of a new layer, you will not destroy the edits that you did before this. Now I want to show you a before and after we deactivate this these layers. So now look at this. This is a big difference. This is a very big difference. It's looking natural. We made the eyes pop a little bit. This is a perfect result. And now let's move on into our next lesson and enhance more face features.